How to practice Mandarin reading, writing and listening skills. Why learn Mandarin? The reason for learning Chinese is that many people want to learn the language of the most influential country in the world, and they also like Chinese culture. China is also a country that has a long history and is very close to many Asian countries, and there are quite a lot of countries in the world that use Chinese. So I think that if you learn Chinese, you will have a lot of advantages in global travel and future career development, so I started to learn. In the process of learning, Chinese has become more and more interesting and better. Learning Chinese can open the door to a new world. Nowadays, more and more people in the world are learning Chinese, and the purposes of learning Chinese are also diverse. Some are used for work or business, because Chinese is a valuable resource in today's business world. Some are for learning, especially for studying in China, because China's education system and quality are among the best in the world. Some are for research, while others are just for interest. But one thing is very common, that is, they want to learn about China and get closer to China. China has a large population. There are about 1.2 billion people in total, including native and second language speakers. About 1 billion of them can speak Mandarin. Reading Chinese. Is it difficult to learn Chinese characters? Some experts now believe that it is the influence of Western language theories on us that makes it difficult to learn Chinese characters. We should change our teaching philosophy, improve the status of Chinese character teaching, and not be influenced by Western language theories, and adopt China's own characteristic education system. And think that Chinese characters cannot be reformed into pinyin characters. On the other hand, many experts believe that Chinese characters are more complex than Western phonetic characters, which makes it more difficult to remember. Both parties proceeded from their own points of view, stated their own views, and spread them out, extending to the methods and status of the development and education of Chinese characters in the future. Writing Chinese. To write better Chinese, you need to practice your hands, and the purpose of eye training and brain training is to figure out how to write characters. The best effect that can be thought of in the mind of the word, the hand may not be able to write the best effect, because the brain may not be able to command the hand may not be able to command the pen. Practicing hands is to achieve a state of consistency in mind and hand, so hands-on practice is also very important. Hand training is mainly to practice finger strength, wrist strength, and hand feel. If you write for a long time, you will feel pain in your fingers, sore wrists, and hands that do not listen. If you exercise more, this phenomenon will disappear. Students who often help teachers copy questions on the blackboard and students who run blackboard newspapers tend to write quickly and well. This is how their finger and wrist strength are developed. Also pay attention to practice hand feel, so that the brain can direct the hand. Feel that the pen has become a part of the hand. It has become an extension of the hand. The hand can easily direct the pen. Think fast if you want. Slow if you want. Slow if you want to be light. If you want to emphasize, you can write what effect you want to write. Speaking Chinese. We are all learning Chinese. In order to learn Chinese well, you must learn several skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But I think speaking is the most important thing. Because if you can't speak, you can't use your Chinese, you can't make friends with Chinese people, you can't travel to China, and you can't buy cheap things. So how do we improve our communication skills? First of all, remember more new words and phrases. If you can memorize more new words and phrases, the easier it is for you to explain what you mean, and it is also easier for you to understand other people's words. Where do new words and phrases come from? It's in the article, text, and lyrics. If you read more Chinese books, listen to more Chinese music, and read more texts, you can remember more new words and phrases. The second problem we often encounter is that we can't remember the words we have learned when we speak. This is because your response to Chinese is not quick enough. How to improve? I suggest that you can write down some conversations and practice with friends. You can also watch movies and listen to more recordings. When listening, you not only listen to the pronunciation, but also listen to what the Chinese say and how to express yourself. You have to get used to chatting in Chinese. Listening Chinese. Since there are 4 tones in Chinese language, you can concentrate on pronunciation. This does not dramatically improve your listening comprehension, but you should be able to correct your pronunciation at the same time. Start with a slow song, and if you get used to it, try a fast-paced song. We recommend that you always look up the Chinese characters you do not understand. I will never forget the readings I learned in these places. Most Chinese TV programs have subtitles, which are more efficient than marathon listening learning. In addition, you can also know the expressions often used in the dialogue through watching the drama, which can also help predict the conversation. Listening to new listening texts at the same level can consolidate the corresponding content at this level. Not to learn new grammar, but to focus on the sound. Regardless of the language, daily conversation does not require such a high level of grammar, and the elementary and intermediate level is sufficient. Listening to Mandarin tones. This is a known fact that tones are very important when it comes to Mandarin. This is because the amount of vocabulary existing for even a single word is really, really vast. The same word, she, has more than 60 meanings to be learnt or known in all. There is even a famous poem by poet Zhao Yuanrui named She, which means the lion-eating poet in the stone den. You would be surprised to know that there are 92 words which make this poem, and it is made of no other word than she in different tones. Tones are same word ma when pronounced in the first tone or high pitch means mom, but when it is pronounced in the third tone, which is a falling and rising pitch, it means horse. Now imagine the whole world of difference it makes and how there is absolutely no connection between the 2 words at all. Now, there's surely no one who wants to turn out to be embarrassed insulting someone's mom, especially when all he is trying to say that he is a horse lover. How about Cantonese? If you are living in Hong Kong, maybe you can also consider learning Cantonese. Mandarin Chinese is the official language of the country, and therefore the language spoken by most the Chinese population. Cantonese then imposes itself there as an easy dialect, which is behind the sole defenders of this manner of speaking, specific to certain regions. However, Cantonese are often fully understood by Mandarin speakers, with some differences, of course. These are 2 very different dialects, almost languages, albeit there are obviously common origins.